The project Wingbits that lets anyone set up a plug-and-play station, monitor flight data and earn tokens from it might be the best dipping project to get into right now. Wingbits got some of the best partnerships, their team, goals and real-world use case is already validated and got investors, and we are still super early. But these stations we set up cover large areas, and there can only be one station per one of those hex locations, as they are called. So the people who get in now early will be able to choose setup locations freely, like at their own home, at the best spots and earn the most tokens. And then they can just keep the stations there and collect tokens forever. So in this video I will cover everything you need to know about Wingbits. I will show you how you can today reserve a hex location for 6 months for your upcoming setup. I will explain how the coverage and these hexes work, how to optimize and get the most token rewards, and that's pretty much what I've been doing here for over 4 years at Nordic Crypto, reviewing dipping miners and strategies on how to earn the most. So if you like that and want to be the first ones to see when I post new videos about new miners, make sure to like, subscribe and hit the bell icon. Alright, let's get into the video. Wingbits is a community-driven network founded in Sweden that want to make air travel more efficient, safe and provide the next era of data collection for avian innovation. And that is done through people like you and me just putting up a plug-and-play station that monitors airplanes through ADS-B, Automatic Dependent Surveillance Broadcast Technology, which analyzes flight data real-time about the aircraft's position, altitude, velocity and much more, and ultimately create better, more efficient and safer air traffic. And we, the people who set up these stations, are rewarded with Wings tokens for contributing with this data to the Wingbits network. On the Wingbits network, the world is divided into hexes called a sky hex that helps people understand the signal coverage they provide using their stations. And as we can see, there are already a lot of stations out there providing real-world value. Wingbits are still a relatively new company, but once they got enough coverage, they will start monetizing this data they sell to aviation companies and industries, and some of that profit will go back into the community, us people providing the data with our stations. And Wingbits have already validated this plan and successfully got capital investments from venture firms, showing they have a solid real-world business application with high revenue potential. Then the second step after that is to then build out these application products and solutions that they can start offer to the aviation industry. So really cool stuff going on here, because no one else in the world is doing this, and it's unique because the data is transferred cryptographically using blockchain technology, making the data secure, accurate and can be validated. Wingbits are currently offering 2 plug-and-play devices for pre-order, the WB200 and the MGW310, and these stations are set to be delivered in Q1 of 2025. The WB200 is just for providing Wingbits data and earning the Wings token. The MGW310 are for earning both the Wingbits token and the GeoNet Geo token at the same time. So yes, Wingbits and GeoNet have partnered, which is a great sign for both companies. GeoNet is and have been one of my favorite dipping projects since 2022 when I started covering it on my channel. So if you don't already have a GeoNet station, the MGW310 is a really great device, because then we can dual mine 2 of the best dipping tokens at the same time, and it also saves us a lot of money instead of getting both a GeoNet device and a Wingbits device, and we also only need to set up 1 station. I will leave a link here and down in the description to the place where we can get these Wingbits devices almost $100 cheaper using either the discount code Nordic10 or Nordic that works on all of their dipping miners there, so you can use whichever code makes them cheaper. Both of these stations are waterproof and are made to be set up outside on a roof or on a balcony or in a field with an open sky. We can even have the Wingbits device indoors in the attic, and it works pretty well from there. So how many Wingbits devices can we have? How do the Wingbits hexes and coverage work? Well, we can have 1 Wingbits station in each resolution 6 hex, and I will explain what that means. The easiest way to do that is by going to the Wingbits website, sign up for a free account and go to their map section. Here we can see the world and the resolution 6 hexes that have already been taken and have a station set up within them. So a resolution 6 hex are these small orange ones. If we then click on a resolution 6 hex and the station is active, it will show these big blue and green colored resolution 3 hexes. These bigger hexes indicate the signal coverage that specific station provides, and these bigger resolution 3 hexes are the ones that determine our station token rewards. So the resolution 3 hexes are much bigger than the small resolution 6 hexes. These smaller orange resolution 6 hexes only help us show where stations are already set up, which are already reserved, and which are available for us to reserve and set up our own station in. And I will show you how to do that step by step later in this video. So we can set up how many stations we want, but there can only be one station in each resolution 6 hex. And each station will provide signal coverage over multiple resolution 3 hexes and cause big overlap in coverage by multiple stations, but that is okay. Then for each resolution 3 hex, there will be a ranking that occurs every day that calculates all the data messages being sent to and from stations and aircrafts. And based on which station that provided the most messages within that resolution 3 hex gets a higher rank and more of the daily token rewards given out for that specific resolution 3 hex. And that reward calculation occurs for all resolution 3 hexes in the world every day. So yes, each resolution 3 hex have a set amount of tokens that is distributed every day, and the stations providing coverage for it gets rewarded, with the most tokens going to the station handling the most data messages. When setting up a Wingbits station, we are currently earning the Wings token. Since Wingbits is a relatively new project, the token is just about to be listed, having its TGE token generation event in Q4 of 2024, where the token then will get the value. So right now, whilst making this video, station users are rewarded with testnet tokens. That means that the token got no current value and we can't trade it. But this is usually the best time to get involved with quality projects and gather as much tokens as possible. I did exactly that with GeoNet back in the days before their Geo token was listed, when the token we were rewarded with was also in testnet stage and worth $0 at the time. But since I knew GeoNet was a quality project, I just collected as many tokens as possible and simply waited, and it turned out to be a great choice. So yes, getting early into new projects might include that it takes a while for the company to grow, but I personally like getting into these quality dipping projects that have real world value, because in the end it's usually those who stick around, just like we saw with GeoNet. So the partnership between Wingbits and GeoNet tells me a lot. Let's talk about how to optimize our Wingbits miner coverage and thereby get the most Wings token rewards. To make it simple, we want our station to be online as much as possible and get the broadest signal coverage possible. More coverage equals more token rewards. As I mentioned before, we can deploy these stations indoors in the attic, but it's recommended, and also to get the most token rewards, to set up these stations outside as high up as possible. We want the station to have as much of a clear view of the sky, so if you can, avoid having nearby tall buildings, mountains or trees or anything covering the view. It will help you get better coverage. But even though you're surrounded with tall buildings or mountains, you'll still be able to earn tokens. This is just on how to optimize our token rewards. People setting up stations near the coastline seem to get really great coverage out on the water since it's flat, so that's a good tip if you're living near the water. But also, if you're able to provide unique coverage where no one else is providing coverage, you will earn 100% of those daily hex rewards. So that's why being early here can get us a lot of tokens. Another tip is to set up stations near airports that can then even gather information from aircrafts on the ground and thereby have our station provide unique messages and thereby earn bigger parts of the daily rewards coming from those hexes. When you look at these hexes, don't get too hung up on the Wings reward amounts you see in this video or in previous videos, since the tokenomics and the reward models might change in the future. What you can do is compare your daily hex rewards on the map with others to see and compare if your station setup is right or if you can perhaps improve it in some ways. Let's go through step by step on how to start with Wingbits and reserve a hex for your Wingbits station for 6 months, making sure that no one else can take it. Since these stations are not delivered until Q1 2025, we can make sure to reserve our location hexes until then, until we get our stations. First, get a free account on the Wingbits website. Then go to the Stations tab, click Register Station, Next, and here we can look and see all the resolution 6 hexes in the world, and if they are available or not. If the background is green, the hex is free and we can reserve it. If the background is red, that hex is already reserved and taken. So if it's green, click exactly on the map where we intend on setting up the station. Then click Next, and reserve location. And we will reserve that hex for 6 hours. This gives us plenty of time to purchase a Wingbits device. Check the link and discounts for that in the description below. And when we have bought the Wingbits device, we will get an email with a coupon code from the seller that we bought the Wingbits device from. Then we go to the Wingbits website again, go to Station, click on Extend Reservation, make sure it's set to 6 months, and in the order we can then enter in the coupon code we got from the seller that makes the total cost go to $0. And this will then extend our hex reservation for 6 months, so we will have plenty of time until the Wingbits device arrives. We can only reserve a single hex at a time per account. These hexes are also not transferable. If we later want to change the location of a station, just be aware that when a station goes outside the claimed hex area, that hex will unlock immediately, opening it up for others to claim it. After the setup is done, we can add a Solana wallet address to where the Wings tokens will be sent to. Now, if this video helped you, consider helping me with a like on the video, and please share your thoughts in the comments on what you think about Wingbits or perhaps anything else. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.